Hi, I'm Allie. Join me to create these Talavera earrings, which are a Mexican style tile piecing together different shapes and multi-hold beads. The best thing about this is make sure you watch because you can use any two-hold bead for this and make it work. It's a lot of fun to see it in action and follow along with all the steps. Remember, if you need any supplies, go ahead and look below the video in the description and then you can make along with us. So to do these earrings, we are going to be utilizing four. It doesn't matter what style, two-hold beads. So I have a PieDuo here, a DiscDuo, mini RounDuo, and a Tila bead. So you can see different shapes, different sizes, and we're making that Spanish style or the Mexican style tile for that Talavera shape. And what we're going to be doing is creating and linking these beads together. You can do this again with pretty much any multi-hold bead and do it with a collection and get a fun kind of artsy look. So to link them together, I'm just holding the end of my thread and I'm using the gray size 6 Dragonthread along with a size 11 needle. I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, and 4 of my 15 seed beads. Now I'm going to pick these up in the same order that I did previously, so each earring has the same pattern, but if you are starting with a different collection of beads, anything works. I'm going through one hole of my PieDuo here, and at the top of it, I'm going to add 115, 18, 115, and come back down the second hole. We're going to do this with every single one of our multi-hold beads. We're going to separate them out again here, and I'm just going to pull it down a little bit more. 3 15s. And then after those 3 15s, we're going to pick up our next bead, which is our RounDuo mini. We're going to, sew through one hole of the RounDuo mini. When we come out the top of the RounDuo mini, add 115, one of your 8s, 115, and then once again back down. So we're doing this with all of our beads, whether or not you're doing it with all DiscDuos or all of your tile beads or a quarter tile or quarter tila, or really changing it up, anything you want. 3 more 15s. I go through the first hole of my bead. Oops, I need to pick up my DiscDuo next. We're going to keep in order of the earring we already have created. But if you don't have one created yet, pick up whatever you want. Go through the DiscDuo, coming out the top of the DiscDuo once again, 15, 8, 15. Turn your needle and thread. So that way it goes back through that DiscDuo bead. And once it's back through that DiscDuo bead here, oops, my needle and thread keep wanting to get caught on a pliers outside of frame, and then bring it back down through here, push it back toward the design, and then add my last bead. So they're going to zigzag either way. This is also really fun as a whole new design element, and might have to make a bracelet like that. Go on in then, add your last of your beads. This one's going to be my Tila bead. Once again, 15, 8, 15. Back down through that second hole. Now what I'm going to do is make this into my squared or my kind of like squared shape. I'm going to take this starting thread and my thread coming out right now, and I'm going to tie it into a knot. Go in here and just make sure that there's no thread in between the beads. Pull right there, and then once again, just pull nice and tight. This end thread right here, I'm going to keep because I will go back and tie off to that once I'm done my earring. So from here, I'm going to add some seed beads along the sides of my beads. In addition to that, I'm going to add some 8/0s towards the center of the design that are going to bring it in and kind of do that nice mosaic look. So coming out through that bead, what I want to do is sew back up through the 15s that we added, except I'm going to exit after the first 15. And once I'm through that first 15, I want you to add an additional 8 and then sew through the second 15. That's going to plop that 8 kind of in there towards the interior, and we're going to grab onto those as we do the design. From here, we're going to go around the piece. So you have to decide on which beads you're using and how many beads you need to go around. So I already did one, so I know that I need a total of 5 beads to get around the piece on the side of the PieDuo. I need less on the mini duo or the mini RounDuo because it has a smaller side. I'm going to go up then through the 3 beads that sit on the top of the beads and out. And this one happens to be 5/15s. Once again, through 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming down next to the bead, going through the first 15 that connects them. Coming out that first 15, I want you to add an 8, skip over the second 15, and sew through the third 15. Come out through that third 15. After giving that a nice little tight pull, see how they're going towards the middle. And then once I'm here, I have to determine how many beads go around the sides. I'm going to pick up 3 there, go up through the beads at the top. If you get done and you're using a different bead and it's too many or too little beads, you just undo and add or subtract one of your 15 O's. So not rocket science here, we're going very easy. From here, add that same amount of beads, 1, 2, 3. Go through bead number 1. Come on out after that first 15. And then after coming out through this first 15, it doesn't want to let me go through it right now. Plug it onto my bead. There we go. Once you go through that first one, again, continuing on, adding one of our 8s, skipping over bead number 2, and sewing through bead number 3 and coming out near the DiscDuo. The DiscDuo, I'm going to do 6 beads along the side. And then when I get back to my Tila bead, I'm going to do 4 beads along the side. So I'm going to continue going around the sides, adding in my seed beads, which look like they're kind of framing it out and connecting in my 8/0 seed bead. Once you're done framing out your earrings, you're coming out of that first 15/0 that your thread was originally coming out of, and we're going to step up into the 8/0. So we're kind of creating a little bit of a cross design here. Going into that first 8/0, what we're going to do now is pull the project together, and link all of these. So we're going through the next 8/0, going through the next one, and we're circling through all of those interior 8/0 seed beads. I'm going to circle through all of them 1.5 times, pull that nice and tight. Look how that gets that fun look and design where you have that kind of interesting look that makes you stop and wonder about the design in the piece. And I'm going to make sure that my wire guard goes to the same top of the product. So I'm going over here and going back through that middle section. And once I come out of the 8/0 right there, near that PieDuo, I'm just going to simply sneak up through the hole in the PieDuo there. You won't be able to tell and see any of that thread. Come up to the top here, come out through those center beads, going through the 15/0 before and the 8/0. Grabbing nice and tight here then, grabbing my wire guard. So I love using wire guards or wire protectors. I think they make all the difference when it comes to that professional look of jewelry. Coming down through the wire guard then, we're going to go down through the opposite side. If you've never used one and you're finding this video and you're like, oh, this is cool, you can just put all kinds of multi-holed beads together. Totally can. Grab that wire guard for that polished look. You go up through it. It has a little U channel and then tubes on the side. And you're going to go through it once and go through it twice, just because it's basically the equivalency of your clasp or your closure. And for earrings, you don't have a lot of wear and tear, but there is a little bit of tension where it's hanging down from. So I like to put more than one piece of thread through that wire guard. Make sure the thread stays in that little wire guard. Come down through the 8 here and back through that 8/0. And then look and see where your starter thread is. So I'm at a great position here where I can come down through that bead, circle around through that center row, bring it out towards that thread end, going up through here, that seed bead, up through the Tila bead. So I'm just getting my thread ends to match and in the same spot, down through the Tila bead on the other side. And I can't wait for lots of photos of everybody's projects using these because I want to see all the different beads used. I don't even have enough time to use all of the different beads, so I can't wait to see what everybody else does. Grab that thread end right next to the starter thread. Take those 2 thread ends and simply tie them together. So whether or not you're using super duos and Tilas, tiles, disc duos, PieDuos, round duos, round trios. You can have a lot of fun pairing and mixing and matching. These have a very southwestern Sundance feel to me, and I love how unique they are in the scheme of jewelry. Now, when you get ready to hang these on your wire guards, make sure that you're going to hang them that they're going opposite directions, so that way one ear has one bead facing out and the other one the other earring. That's always great for any sort of earring where it has a pattern, to make sure that the patterns are facing one another rather than to the same side. Grab your wire guard, cut that off, and then all I have to do is add on my ear wires, and my little mosaic Talavera earrings are complete. Thanks so much for joining me in creating these fun Talavera earrings. Remember, if you need any supplies, don't hesitate to go below the video in the description, hit that little show more button or that down caret. It'll give you links to our website where you can shop for all of the great materials that you need. Remember, if you haven't already, sign up so you don't miss anything from us here at Potomac Beads. Thanks so much for joining us, and stay tuned for our next inspirational design.